Hi everybody, back again with another 1/6 scale figure video. This time it's not a Hot Toys figure. This is a figure by a company called SWToys. I got this through a Facebook group, TNS Figures. It's the clone 2.0 figure, but as you can probably tell, it's Milla Jovovich as Alice from the Resident Evil series. It's a very basic figure, but it still looks pretty good. I might possibly attempt to swap the body out for a Fison body, or TB League as they're now known. Probably looking at a mid-bust version to go on this clothing because it's quite tight. So we'll zoom in a bit so you can get a good look at the head sculpt. Not a bad head sculpt for a third party. It's partly rooted hair and sculpted hair, which you'll see that when we go around the back. There is a little issue I have with this figure, and I'll show you that in a second. It's okay to pose. It's not the clothing's not too restrictive. You're a little bit restricted with the boots because because it's a solid sort of boot. Although it is a cloth material, it is quite hard to sort of pose it. But before we have a look around the figure, we'll go for accessories. So she comes with 8 interchangeable hands. You've got the 2 hands that I've got on here, which is the trigger fingers. You've got, if it focuses, there we go, 2 fisted hands. Pretty standard sort of quality, really. And you have 2 gripping hands for holding the katanas. And you have the 2 relaxed hands as well. You also get 3 of these, like throwing stars. They're rather large though, and they are plastic and very, very thin, as you can see, if it will focus. Very thin indeed. A bit big for my liking. You get the machine guns, which I'll zoom in here. They're okay, nothing special, but they do the job. If you really want to, I suppose you could go on eBay, search 1/6 accessories, and probably find a more detailed machine gun that you can use. Just turn around to the side. You have these like little holsters that you put the gun in, that you just put on the leg. I find though that the gun doesn't stay in there very well. It falls out, which is why I've got them in our hands. Moving on round to the back. Very basic setup. You've got 2 katanas in the sheaths. Let's take one out here. It is metal, so that's one good thing about it. Come on, focus. There we go. So it's metal katana, quite weighty. And as you can see, I'm having trouble putting them in because they don't really stay in the back very snugly. You have to push them in here. I would have liked to have had maybe something on the back to maybe connect them to, but never mind. You've got a zip on the back there, so you could take the clothing off. So I might attempt to do that at some point. So here's the rooted part of the hair. It's just the ponytail part. There have been quite a few head sculpts by third parties that have done this in the past. It's a bit difficult to see on here, but the colour of the face, the skin on the face, is slightly darker than the actual colour on the body. So that is noticeable, and as you can see there, just above the ear, going around the head, is the seam. But it's not a bad likeness to Milla. There have been, well, I found this with figures, third-party figures that I've bought in the past. There are issues. As I said, it's a bit of hit and miss for me anyway. getting these figures. I've bought quite a few third-party figures, and the bodies that they've used haven't been very good. They've had very loose joints. This one though is okay. No issues with the body on this one, but I have had that in the past. And if I show you here, very bad gluing work has just been put together, very messy. It looks like it might have broke at some stage and they've just re-glued it, and it's a bit of a mess there. I might try and clean it up somehow. This side's okay, a little bit of glue you can see coming through the sides there. But this is what you have to put up with when you pay cheaper prices for these third-party figures. Yes, Hot Toys do have their issues, QC issues as well, but generally Hot Toys are pretty good. You're always going to get a bad figure in a batch somewhere along the line, but I find you get that more so with these third-party figures. I don't know whether it's the manufacturing techniques, obviously a bit different, cheaper materials maybe, but that is just some things that I've found. But I wanted this a representation of this look of Alice, because I'm a huge Resident Evil movie fan. A lot of people hate the movies, but I love them. I take them for what they are, just good, no-nonsense action movies, really. And I'm a huge fan of Miller. Since Hot Toys, really, I don't think I'm going to be making any more of these figures. They made one, which was nice in its day. It's a little bit dated now. If you look back on my videos, you'll see a video of it. But I really would love Hot Toys to go back into this series, if they've got the rights to still do it, and remake some Alice figures to give us maybe a version from each movie. That would be awesome, but I can't see it happening. So I have to make do with this at the moment. You can see the colour difference there between the face and the body. Just trying to, there we go. It's got the light from the window off. So I will get one of the older TB League bodies that's darker in colour, the tan versions, because there's newer versions of TB League, even though their figures, they say they're tanned, they're not very tanned at all. So I'll get one of the older versions and put this head on it and see if I can tweak this figure a little bit more, and say get rid of that glue. But all in all, I'm fairly happy with this figure. It's one that I will keep. Just got it on a generic stand at the moment. Doesn't come with a stand, which is another problem with a lot of third-party companies. They don't tend to give you stands, and when they do, it's normally just a base and you don't have anything to hold the figure onto. And as you know, displaying figures in details cabinets or wherever you put them, if they haven't got a stand, any sort of little knock and they will fall and break. So I'd like to see the third-party companies starting to produce stands for their figures. So yeah, there you go. Just a quick video on my latest acquisition. I have got some other figures on the way that are not Hot Toys related, and as soon as they arrive I would do some videos on those. Not sure what my next Hot Toys figure video will be. Don't even know what I've got coming. Hopefully my Doctor Strange will turn up eventually, and also the Deathstroke that I've ordered as well. They should be the next two figures that come my way from Hot Toys. So until then, as always, thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video.